So, having completed the cash receipts journal, we're now going to go into the cash payments journal. As you can see, I've got the highlighted cash receipts still. So the unhighlighted ones are the ones that are going to go in the cash payments journal. Cash payments journal is really similar to the cash receipts journal, only difference it doesn't have a receipts column. Everything just goes straight to the bank. So in some ways, it's actually easier. Once again, we've got columns headed up with the most common, in this case, outgoings that occur. And then we have the sundry column, which is sort of the catch-all column for things that don't have its own. So we're going to start by putting in the date again, 2nd of March. And once again here, in particulars, we need to find something from the trial balance. One of those account names is what should be appearing in the particulars, not a description of the transaction. Now, the first one says purchase ice cream stock by online banking. Now, looking back to remind you about what we do, we're Izzy's Ice Cream Parlour. We're a small boutique ice cream parlour selling cones and ice cream cakes to the public. So when we purchase the ice cream stock, we're purchasing what we're going to be reselling. We are a trading firm. We're not a service firm. So a trading firm is one that makes sales of goods, and a service firm, they're just selling their service, usually for fees. Now, with level 1 accounting, we're working on a periodic inventory system, not a perpetual inventory system. In a periodic inventory system, we record all our purchases of stock and inventory as purchases, not inventory. So any time we buy stock or inventory, we don't put it under inventory, we put it under purchases. So in this case, I'm going to be recording this one as purchases in our list. The reference there, online banking, so I'm just going to use OB for that. The amount in the bank, 575. And there's a purchases column as well. So once again, if it's got in its own column, it should be the same in particulars. So it's another reason we're not writing inventory there and putting it under purchases. If there's a purchases column, we call it purchases in the particulars. So we're going to take out the GST, and just a reminder that because we're in New Zealand, GST is 15%. So we divide the 575 divided by 1.15 to get the GST exclusive amount. That equates to $500. And then the difference between the 575 and the 500 is going to be the amount of GST. So in this case, $75. We've got another transaction here on the second, which is a cash payments. Izzy, so remember that's the owner, uses the business EFTPOS card to buy lunch. So when the owner takes out cash for personal use, we call it drawings. Doesn't matter what that personal use is, it's always called drawings. So we're going to call it EFT, because it's an EFTPOS transaction. It's $23, and there's no GST on capital transactions, so putting in capital or taking out drawings. So it's 23 straight to the drawings column. The next date is on the 3rd of March. In this case, we've paid for a Google ad and it's $115 by online banking. We look over here, what's going to be the most appropriate? We're paying for an ad on Google, so we would be calling that advertising. Online banking is how we paid, and it's $115. Now this one doesn't have its own column, so we're going to put it under sundry. We're going to take out the GST, gives us 100, so therefore the GST must be 15. Okay, up to the 4th, we've got paid wages. Okay, once again, there's wages in our trial balance, and it's got its own column, so we know we should be calling it wages over here in the particulars. Paid it by direct debit, so that's why I'm putting in DD. Paid $750. There's no GST on wages. $750 goes straight into the wages column. The next transaction, that is a cash payment, is down here on the 7th of March. So I'm going to 7th of March. And it says bought new display shelf for shop. Okay, so we're buying equipment for the shop. So we're going to look in here. Got a couple of options. We've got here shop fittings, and we've got office equipment. Because it's for the shop, we're going to put it under shop fittings. So fittings are your shelving, your lighting, all those sorts of things that go into your shop that you use to display goods, etc. So this I'm going to put shop fittings, and we pay that through online banking, and it's how much? 1725. Now notice I haven't called it purchases, because purchases is only for the inventory that the business is buying. And inventory's purpose is to be resold for a profit. So in Izzy's case, this is going to be ice cream and ice cream cones. She is not in the business of selling shop fittings. So therefore, it is not a purchase of inventory. So in that case, it doesn't go under purchases. It's going to go under sundry. We're going to take out the GST. It's going to be 1,500, and the GST is 225 there. Also on the 7th of March, Izzy's purchasing more ice cream stock for 575. So we don't need to put another date in because it's on the same date. This one we do call purchases because she's buying inventory for resale in the shop. And once again, it is online banking, and I apologise, this here should be F'd. So online banking of 575. It's going to go over into the purchases column because she's purchasing inventory, and GST here of 75. Now we've got two more transactions here. It says loan repayment of $500 and $70 of interest. So this is two separate transactions. So each one has its own line. So the first one is the loan repayment. Now we actually did loan in the cash receipts too. So we're using that same account. That loan there is what we should be writing. That's going to most likely be something bank transfer. So I'm putting BT in there, and it's $500 of out of the bank. There's no GST on a loan, so straight into the sundry column. Now the other one is this interest. Now we have two options. We've got interest received and interest expense. Now, because we're making a loan repayment of $500 and $70 interest, it's going to be interest expense because that is the cost or expense of borrowing money. So in this case, we're paying interest expense. It's not interest received. We haven't earned it. So interest expense, same there, $70. And once again, there's no GST on interest. So we're going to put $70 straight in the sundry. We should have all our columns added up there again, all ready to go. And we'll need those when we do the ledger accounts.